Good evening, and welcome to my channel that's all about horror. My name is Aaliyah, and when I was a kid, I started watching scary movies like it was my job. Nothing gave me more comfort than seeing deaths by hugs.
Hug this!
And kisses. So here are my top 5 Valentine's Day movies that'll make you just want to grab onto someone tight or steer far and clear away from them. Valentine is a 2001 murder mystery whodunit slasher that ranks pretty high on my it's so bad it's good guilty pleasures list. 4 longtime girlfriends, Denise Richards, Jessica Capshaw, Jessica Caulfield, and Marley Shelton, are all stalked and terrorized by a cherub-masked killer. Now, up top, the film touches on some very serious and traumatizing subject matter. However, the tone for the rest of it screams, "Don't take me too seriously." And that's made obvious by how well we see the girls manage their love lives.
I have a boyfriend, but I can guarantee you he's not Jeremy Melton.
And how long have you known him?
A month.
And where did you meet him?
At yoga.
Compared to how poorly we see them manage trying to survive a bloodbath. But the good thing about that is none of the characters are all that likable, so seeing them killed off is satisfying, to say the least. And yes, someone does bite it by Cupid's arrow. This film throws itself fully into the holiday, and I am all for it. And if you need any more convincing, just know that it's easy to follow in case you get distracted doing other things.
Don't worry about it.
If you're excited about a cheesy early 2000s gem that doesn't try too hard to be good, then Valentine is the movie for you. And you can rent it on iTunes, YouTube, or Amazon Prime. Stephen King's 1992 film Sleepwalkers is a creature feature horror romance. Charles Brady, the charming new kid on the block, becomes fixated on Tanya Robertson, who has suddenly piqued his interest. But Charles's intentions are revealed to be far from pure when we discover that he and his mother are cat-like creatures who must feed on female virgins.
It finishes you somehow.
Thank you, that's very sweet.
Oh, sweets to the sweet, I always say. Right, Charles?
Now, despite how strange and bizarre this film is, I've always felt that the music, the actors,
Well, no, I didn't, cuz, see, he didn't have no face.
and the love story
You don't know me, Tanya.
But I want to.
all really made it super enticing to watch. Unlike other Stephen King stories that were novels before they became films, Sleepwalkers was the first film that King wrote the script for first, which actually explains why this film seems a little faster paced than his others.
What the?
But it's an acceptable compromise because that means we get to the monster lovemaking scenes a whole lot quicker. So if that excites you, you should rent Sleepwalkers on Amazon Prime or YouTube. My Bloody Valentine 3D is the 2009 remake of the 1981 Canadian slasher. 10 years after Harry Warden, a deranged minor, went on a Valentine's Day killing spree, the survivors and the rest of the town fear he may have returned after the gruesome murders begin again. This is such a solid remake, one that I actually prefer and one that thankfully does not hold back on the gore or its eccentric kills. At the center of all this carnage, and in a messy love triangle at that, are Jensen Ackles, Jamie King, and Kerr Smith, who I've got to say is more out of control and hot-headed in this one.
What did you just say to me? Sarah, settle down.
Than he was in Final Destination.
The plane! It's gonna blow up! It's gonna blow up!
Which is hard to believe, but boy, do I still love him.
That's great.
But the one who ultimately steals the show for me, though, is the iconic Tom Atkins, who is in one of the best scenes in the entire film, aside from the supermarket chase scene, of course. One important thing there is to know about this film is that there's a lot of information and backstory at the beginning. So my suggestion would be to not get up and get any snacks, at least during the first 15 minutes or so, just so you don't miss any important plot points. If this fun and bloody mess sounds like the film for you, then you can rent it on Amazon Prime or YouTube. The Loved Ones is a 2010 Australian splatter horror film about how torturous prom can actually be. When Brent politely rejects Lola's prom invitation,
Sorry, Lola. I'm done with Holly.
she seemingly handles it well. That is until we see Brent wake up in Lola's home, tied to a chair and wearing a tux. This was a pretty wild film. Robin McLeavy was incredible at portraying such a vivacious, manipulative, and dangerous character. And Xavier Samuel gave an equally gripping performance full of pain and agony, which I was really impressed by considering he doesn't speak for 3/4 of the film.
We can hear you.
The whole experience felt like I was on this anxiety-inducing, emotionally volatile ride. And at the end, when it took a crazy turn, I literally said, "What the fuck?" But nonetheless, despite how unsettling this is, I think it's the perfect grab onto your date movie. So if you dare, The Loved Ones is available for streaming on Amazon Prime. Spring is a 2015 body horror film, and in case you're unfamiliar with what that means, it's when a film exploits the human body in a grotesque, unnatural, and disturbing way. The film is about a young man named Evan who, after losing his mother and his job, decides to take a solo trip to Italy, where he meets Louise. As their romance blossoms, literally, Louise struggles to keep a painful secret about her body hidden from Evan. Spring is one of the most touching horror films I've ever seen because of how grounded it is in real life and real emotions. Lou Taylor Pucci and Nadia Hilker both do a great job at making their characters' personal journeys and their relationship with each other feel very authentic.
I wish I could say I wasn't just a simple-minded dude.
I understand about half of myself.
Then you're half magic.
I'm half undiscovered science. Bunch of confusing biochemistry and some crazy hormones.
Their sense of feeling lost and then so intensely found was super relatable, and it was enchanting to watch that. And then on the flip side of that, this film has many moments where it's incredibly revolting and sickening to watch. There was even one moment where I had to pause it, turn away for a second, take a breath, and then begin playing it again. I can't recommend this film enough for a film lover, for a horror film lover, and especially for two lovers on Valentine's evening. But just be sure to start your dinner well before starting this film. You can find that Spring is available for streaming on Hulu. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. I hope that one of these films at least resonated with you enough to want to watch it for your Valentine's Day. As for me, I'm gonna get my celebration started now.